All right, welcome back, everyone. Our next guest is Dr. LeKeia Conway from Alpha Eta Phi. Welcome, Dr. LeKeia.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
for being here.
Yes, so tell us all about the sorority that you represent.
So, Alpha Eta Phi, Multiple Sclerosis Sorority.
Incorporated.
There's a lot of words in there, so.
It's okay. We were founded in 2021, August of 2021, by 4 beautiful ladies, myself included. Angie Spence, she is our vice president. Tiffany English, she's our secretary and historian, and Jessica Michelle Hawk, who is our chaplain, and she was our intake coordinator. And we just kind of came together and said we wanted to create an environment for other women in the community who suffer with MS like us, and to provide them that support, advocacy, anything that they may need in the community, outside the community, behind closed doors, that we may get from each other or from our families. And we kind of talked about it, played around with it, and came August, we put it in motion. We came out.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you were able to share that story, because I think it's important that we actually take it one step further for our viewers tuning in that may not understand. What is multiple sclerosis?
So, let's see, the easiest way I can describe it is if you have a wire, you know how you have like a radio wire and it's frayed?
Yeah.
So the immune system attacks the covering around that wire. And when it attacks it, it creates problems within your nervous system. And you start to have the symptoms, fatigue, brain fog, nerve damage, absolutely nerve damage, vision problems, just all kinds of issues. You go through the MRIs, you get tested, you go through the blood work, you do physical therapy, you do so many different things for them to find this diagnosis. And ultimately they'll come back and say, hey, it was a problem between the connection with your immune system and your body and your brain, and you have MS.
The symptoms, I'm sorry, Matt, the symptoms sound very similar to lupus.
It is very similar.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
I am a lupus warrior. And as soon as you started listing the symptoms, I'm like, wow, I have that, I experienced that, I experienced that. Very similar.
Till you know what it feels like to,
yes.
One day could be completely normal,
Right.
and the next day you may not be able to get out of the bed.
So true.
I was going to ask Dr. Conway, so what is like, sort of like your days and weeks and months look like with MS? It sounds like the days could change. It could vary greatly.
Absolutely. So I have had MS for 10 and a half years. I'm 36. I'll be 37 in January. But so yesterday I was absolutely fine, walking around, doing things in the house, and doing things with my daughter. And this morning I woke up like, oh man, my legs is killing me. My legs hurt, and sometimes you gotta crawl out of the bed. Sometimes you just may roll onto the floor, and because you can't
we laugh,
move.
right?
Yeah, we laugh, but
it's not funny in the moment.
Right, it's the true pain. And I always tell people, it feels like your legs or your body or your arms or whatever part is on fire, but from the inside. Can you imagine that? Yeah.
I'll tell you, Dr. Conway, so, on the show, I've talked about it here a number of times. So my mom is disabled. She's been disabled since she was 24. She doesn't have MS, but had a brain aneurysm. She's paralyzed on her right side. So I can sort of empathize with what you go through. And there's definitely good days and there's bad days, some harder than others. And we've had a couple hard days this past couple ones. So I definitely empathize with the situation, and that's important that what you're doing.
Right. And
I thank you as a caregiver. As a caregiver for one, I really thank you. Yeah.
And sharing your story and being brave enough to show up. Because I'm sure this morning was really hard to get out of bed.
It was.
Right? But you're here.
But I'm here.
And you knew that you needed to be here to share your story, but share the mission of what you're doing. And let people know what is multiple sclerosis, because now you've created a space. I like to say, it's almost like a sisterhood,
Absolutely.
right? A sisterhood. and a safe place and space for those suffering with multiple sclerosis, or maybe just don't understand it yet and need to educate themselves more about it, and providing more resources.
And that's what we're about.
And we said this earlier in our interview before, that it takes a village.
It does.
Right?
It
right?
does.
But so we're saying it again, right? We say it all the time, but this is very, very important what you're doing, and coming together and uniting a group of individuals who all share one common
and
goal.
sometimes it's just that your family members may not understand, but I can call my sister and say, hey, I'm in pain, or I'm just feeling depressed, or I'm anxious about something, or I have to go for infusion and I'm afraid, and they understand and not judge you.
Right.
So it's definitely a safe space.
So you mentioned the Sisterhood. I have to ask, as the resident guy here on the panel, is it only for the ladies?
It is only for the ladies.
Okay, all right.
For now.
Okay.
And that's not to say that it's not any men out there with MS, but we're just getting started. We are excited. We're going to be taking the nation by storm. We have 27 ladies who just were inducted. And they are everywhere, from Vegas to Atlanta to here in Maryland to PA and Delaware. Like, they're everywhere.
Wait, when did this start again?
August of 2021.
Very recent.
Wow.
So we
just
just
over a
this
year
many
ago.
here.
But this many people are joining,
Yes.
which means there's
It's
a
a
Imagine
need.
in 5,
and it's
10
out
years.
there. Yes.
Right, 5-10 years, where the numbers will be. Clearly, there's a need,
exponential.
Yes.
and and those that are suffering with MS feel that we need to come together. It's a must. It must
And they're more
happen now.
brave too. They're brave with coming out and speaking their story, and not afraid at all.
Yes, that's right. You have to be brave. You have. You cannot hold back. And I know, going through an autoimmune disease myself, that sometimes we shut down, right? We shut down, and we don't want to. We don't want everyone to always feel bad for us, right? We want to just keep on going with our everyday lives and push forward, because that's what we are naturally as women. We are strong and we push forward. But I do feel it's important to continue to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
And making sure that you are continuing to share your story about MS, because you never know who is listening and who you're inspiring at home, which I think is so important. So thank you for being brave. Right?
Yes.
And you said you have a daughter?
Yes.
So I'm sure she's tuning in. Or no, maybe
No,
she might be
she's
in
in
school.
school.
She's in school.
Afterwards, she'll watch it when she gets home.
She's in school.
Right, she's in school. Does she understand what you're going through?
To an extent. She is still in the denial stage. So she does not want to understand. She does not want, I don't even think she talks about it,
Okay.
but she knows what's going on. She knows what it's called, but she's not there yet. So
Right.
we're still working on her to try to talk to her about what it is. And they have programs and classes to work with families and moms and children. So
Right.
I'm still working on her, but she'll get there.
Going through what you're going through not only affects you and your everyday life, but it affects your family and your
Absolutely.
children.
My mother, my husband, my father, my sisters, everybody. And they're always so attentive to what's going on with me and making sure that I'm not doing too much.
Right. They remind you.
All the time.
Slow it down. Or,
Yes. Sit down. Don't do this. Don't do that. So,
And it's important to listen,
sometimes.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's hard sometimes, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone, who is struggling with MS, and what would sort of your message be to someone
To live.
newly diagnosed or just having a hard day?
To live is not the end of life. Utilize your supports. Utilize your family members.
Right.
Get involved in some of the support groups they have out here. Look us up. Find our website and join us. Join the fight to find a cure. But most importantly, live your life.
Right, and that's important. That's important, and I'm glad that you're saying that, because many are scared, right? I'm sure you were scared when you were diagnosed with MS.
Yeah.
What now? Do I move forward? Do I stop here? What's going
Am
on?
I going to die? That's
Right.
a good one.
And it goes through your head, it goes through your mental state.
Yeah.
And that leads me to this. I'm sure that Alpha Eta Phi offers that mental health support.
Absolutely.
And that's even more
critical.
powerful and
Yes, it
helpful
is.
as a sisterhood. Not only are you offering education and resources and uplifting each other, but that mental health support.
It's important.
Because look what you just said when you were when first diagnosed, what it felt like. The whole world was crumbling down, right?
Yep.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not
Nope.
anymore, and that's because you're brave and you're here to share your story and share with those watching about Alpha Eta Phi,
Yes.
Phi, that you are here to continue the conversation, raise awareness, but continue to grow this sisterhood.
Yes. Yes.
Ah, that's so powerful.
Yes,
That is
yes.
so powerful. That
Yes.
really is, and what you're doing for our community. So
Yes,
thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you. Thank you for the platform, for allowing us to be able to talk about it.
Right. And I think that the more we get those stories here, and we get individuals like Dr. LeKeia Conway, on Good Morning Wilmington, we're able to not only inspire but continue to educate. Right.
Conversation is big, right?
Exactly.
Now I'm
Exactly.
looking at you here in the wonderful logo behind you, so I don't want to be remiss in mentioning that here. So orange, white, and the peridot green. Can you tell us the significance of that green?
Oh, you knew that the green was paradise. A lot of people don't know that.
The producer may have told me.
Thank you, Najee.
That means she did her research.
She did too. She's
always
very good
on
at doing her research.
Don't mess with Najee. She's always on it with details.
So the orange it represents MS because the colors for MS is orange, and one of the symbols is a butterfly. And the peridot is because we were founded in August, and that's the birthstone for August.
See, that's
fantastic. I love that.
and I love the butterfly.
Yes.
The symbolism of the butterfly.
And I love your little kind of.
I did see the
Yeah,
green.
yeah,
Yep.
that's fantastic.
That's perfect.
I didn't know if I needed to wear paraphernalia or just.
No,
It's great. You did wonderful.
No, you did
Thank you.
wonderful. Well, the interview is coming to an end. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers tuning in?
Maybe how to find out more information.
You can visit our website at www.aepmssorority.org. There is a ton of resources, information. We do have a recruitment coming up in March in the spring. So if it's anyone out there that are interested, just go to the website and check us out.
Perfect.
You will love us.
Yes.
Excellent.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
again
you.
for joining us here at Good Morning Wilmington, and good luck
Thank
as
you.
you continue to grow Alpha Eta Phi
Yes.
throughout the entire state and throughout the entire country.
Country.
That's
Yes.
right.
What's up, everyone? It's your main man, Big Ob, the talk of the town, Mr. DETVCH.com, and I'm here with my wonderful and amazing co-host.
Vincenza.
We just stopped by to tell you to be sure, if you want any information on what's going on in Wilmington and to meet some dynamic people doing some amazing and great things, be sure to watch us live on Good Morning Wilmington on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 p.m.,
Oh, Ivan, 10 a.m.
which he said, 10 a.m.
Listen to me. That's why he has me here. But yes, tune in live, 10 a.m. Monday and Wednesday on Good Morning Wilmington.
DETVCH.com.